Well, we are finally back for a second half independent off-tube studio commentary of the game at the BVB Stadium in Dortmund, where it is goalless between Germany and Denmark. It's the second of the round of last 16 knockout stage here at the European Championships, and it was a much better start for Germany. Denmark then responded with a bit of good possession themselves. Then we had a rain delay. The first half was stopped after 35 minutes due to thunderstorms, lightning here around Dortmund. But the first half resumed. Germany made the better start again, but then Denmark had one of the arguably the best chances to score in the first half, apart from the disallowed goal from Szczerbakowicz when Hogan was put through one-on-one. It was saved by Neuer. So we are now underway for the second half. I say we're finally underway because there was actually a moment's delay to start the second half as well, as there were fears of more thunderstorms, but the referee Michael Over has got the go-ahead for us to restart play. So it's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and John Hogan taking you through the action. And John, there were moments in that first half where the game really was starting to develop into quite a nice pace.
Yeah, I mean, Germany started really quickly. Denmark, saw the ball hit the back of the net, and then that was ruled out quite rightly for a Kimmich block, which, as the pundits have pointed out, didn't really need to do. Schlotterbeck had got the run. It's a great ball in. He nodded it into the back of the net. Didn't need Kimmich to block off. But Denmark got into the game, and as you've said, Marl had a good opportunity. A couple of times they were in the box. Hoyland with a good shot was saved by the face of the keeper, Manuel Neuer. Then we got the lightning, and then just about to start second out, a man with a clipboard nearly stopped us. But anyway, thank goodness some common sense prevailed. But the game was shaping up nicely, and I thought really flowing, going end to end. Denmark are not without a chance in this. They're really not. And it's a decent Germany side, but I genuinely believe that they need to bring their striker on, Fulskrug. They need a proper goal scorer. I wouldn't take Havertz off. I'd find another way.
But Sane's been pretty quiet in the game, as has Musiala. I suppose if it was a choice between one of those two wingers, I probably would stick with Musiala and perhaps take Sane off. That may be one option that they're considering. Also, if Andriy perhaps starting to look a little bit tired, you can push Gundogan back into the defensive midfield and potentially find space for Havertz in that role. But just as we were saying that, Denmark have won themselves a free kick. It's a long way out from goal. It's more than 40 yards out, but it's on the angle on the left-hand side. So it's certainly close enough for Christian Eriksen to think about a cross in towards the penalty area. Germany have set up at the edge of the D with their offside. The ball from Eriksen just about kept in play by Vestergaard, and it drops into Skov Olsen. Back now to Højbjerg. His ball into the box. It's inside with Delaney. He goes for goal. He can't get the strike away, but there is Joachim Andersen, and on 48 minutes it's Denmark that take the lead, and it's Crystal Palace's Joachim Andersen that gives them the goal. The initial across from Eriksen, it was aimed at Vestergaard. He just about kept it in play. Denmark just about kept it alive, and it's Andersen with the goal.
Yeah, it was alive, all right. Oh no, we're looking at the referee. Why would he not give this? Anyway, first ball in. There was nobody offside in that. When the ball breaks back, it was just a series of mini duels that was won.
Hang on. No.
Marley was stood off, but Andersen was not. When the ball breaks back to him, and also, was there a little foul in there from Kai Havertz anyway? Delaney goes down. So there's all sorts in there, but of course it was finished off. I think Andersen had kept himself onside in that, but I'm sure they're going to, have a real good look at that. VAR is going to take a look, and Michael Oliver, we're waiting with him to find out whether that's a goal or not.
Well, let's have a look. I mean, if they disallow it, I do wonder what why the goal would be disallowed. That one replay we've just seen there suggests to me that Andersen was onside. But it's this great unknown now with the VAR as to whether there's going to be something wrong with that. Andersen's making it clear to his teammate Vestergaard, I was definitely level. But now the whole world, having previously enjoyed the moment of a goal being scored, now we have to watch a referee telling 20 different players one by one, yes, we're checking it, yes, we're checking it, yes, we're checking it, as the Danish bench are now looking at their iPad there on their bench, trying to check out whether or not there is a reason. The goal's been reviewed, and the referee says there's an offside. So the goal is chalked off.
But it's not the goal scorer who's offside, and so who was it? It might have been Delaney, who came back in. The ball didn't come off Delaney. There was a man further back. I don't know. We'd have to take a look at that. We didn't get the first goal being ruled out until we saw it and it was clear. And maybe there's something clear again.
Yeah, I mean, I would say with this being an English referee, I'm always a little bit concerned because our VAR really is terrible compared to, say, the way it's gone with UEFA in this tournament. Been so clear. I hope Howard Webb's watching this and the people that write his scripts for that Sky show. But anyway, in the meantime, Germany have resumed. They've got straight away on the attack. It's a long ball down the left-hand side. Musiala cuts it back. It's not quite there for Sane. Still kept alive. And then a cross comes in from Raum. Takes a big deflection. It stays in play, though. Raum appealing for a corner. Havertz now wins it back for Germany on the right-hand side. Andriek's ball was actually a shot, which curls wide in the end. I'll just remind you very quickly, the two teams didn't get a chance to after this very bright start in the second half. Manuel Neuer in goal for Germany, a back four of Josh Kimmich, Antonio Rudiger, Nico Schlotterbeck and David Raum. Robert Andriek and Toni Kroos are the holding midfielders, with Leroy Sané, Ilkay Gundogan and Jamal Musiala as the attacking midfield three behind Kai Havertz. For Denmark, Kasper Schmeichel in goal, a back three of Joachim Andersen, Yannick Vestergaard and Andreas Christensen. Meanwhile, I'll come back. Alex Barr, Thomas Delaney, Pierre Højbjerg and Joachim Mahler are the four midfielder. Christian Eriksen playing behind Anders Skov Olsen and Rasmus Højlund. Now, this is a real interesting situation here because the goal was disallowed, but now VAR has stopped play.
Is it Delaney being pulled back by Kai Havertz before the ball, or is it the other way around? We're looking at the goal that was ruled out initially.
Well, this is incredible. I mean, now what we're seeing now is Germany, Denmark had a goal disallowed for offside. Germany then resumed play. Now we're seeing a potential handball at the other end from the goal scorer Anderson, who had his goal disallowed. He's got his arm up, and it's so close to him. His arm is out, but is he trying to stop the ball? Is there any intent to use his arm? I mean, the fact that the Snicko is showing that it's touched his arm, I think Michael Oliver's going to give this. So after all of that, the goal that was disallowed for Denmark, and now don't you dare, Michael Oliver, clap your hand as if the ball hit him hard. It's flicked his finger, basically. It's a disgrace of a decision, really. That's not what VAR was brought in for. I don't think that's a penalty in any shape or form. But there we go, penalty to Germany.
Yeah, well, the ball hits his hand, but you know, it's just a glancing blow. I think the way his weight's going, it's not. His arm's not above his shot. He's not trying to stop it. It's just unwitting, really. Anyway, Kasper Schmeichel now's got a penalty to save, and how quickly things turn around. I'm pretty sure that he couldn't not give that. Given the recent directives.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you had common sense, you'd say no. That's not quite it.
No,
you know?
that's not a handball. That's an attempt to try and. Well, as I say, the decision's been given. I was a supporter of VAR when it came in. I'm still. I tried to stay in the VAR camp because most of these Euros have been. VAR's been running very well. When you consider that Denmark had a seemingly very good goal disallowed, and then seconds later Germany get a penalty for just a very casual knock off the hand as the defender's trying to get into position, but it's going to be Havertz against Schmeichel. Stuttered run up, and he drills it past Schmeichel. And Schmeichel's not happy. He's suggesting perhaps that the run was stopped, but that rule never seems to get enforced. It's the sad situation that penalty taker can do what he likes. The goalkeeper, if he moves an inch off his line, then the penalty's going to get retaken anyway if he makes the save. But now, on 53 minutes, it's the home side, the hosts in this tournament, that lead 1-0.
Well, that's a quick turnaround, isn't it? I'd still like to see why the goal for Denmark was ruled out. Anyway, we look at that stutter step, and in the end a very good penalty because Schmeichel's guessed which way it's going, but he's just drilled it right into the side net and kisses off the post. You couldn't do much better than that. But I want to see why Denmark's goal wasn't.
Yeah, well, it's taken that long, as you say. We've had now we're going to see it. Now, as this ball comes in, the man who's offside. It's Delaney with half a foot, and
but did Delaney actually?
He does. He has the first shot before it deflects into the path of Anderson, so he is taking part in that move.
But I think that the ball rebounds off the German before then he gets a touch of it, so I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, it's as I say, that one replay hasn't really told us, but free kick's been given against Denmark there as they're trying to win the ball back in midfield. We're only on 54 minutes, so there's still time here, and Denmark have already shown that they can certainly weather a German storm and then try and get forward. I mean, Delaney's given a free kick away there for essentially just brushing past Toni Kroos. But so it's Germany with the lead now. Denmark with a goal disallowed, or just as I say that, Kimmich with the slip. He just about, as he was falling, was able to send that ball back towards Manuel Neuer. As Eriksen was advancing, ball goes out for a throw. It will be a throw to Germany down the right-hand side.
Do you know what? Germany made a really good start, and I know they've scored, but you know they've had a big slice of luck, haven't they? I'm not overly impressed by them. And my other thought is, would this be good enough to get past Spain? And I don't think so.
No, I think the way Spain have played in this competition has certainly. They'll certainly be one of the favourites. I mean, France were everyone's favourites early on before the tournament started. They haven't really hit their best form yet, which potentially means that they've still got quite a bit to show in their next games. But yeah, it's certainly this will certainly have relief question marks. If Germany go on to win this game, they certainly, based on what we've seen so far in these first 55 minutes, they haven't done it with a huge amount of dominance. Denmark have been able to come back at them, and Denmark are coming back at them now as Barth putting pressure here on Raum down the right-hand side. The Denmark right-hand side, and it pays off. It's gone out for a Danish throw here, which Højbjerg wanted to take quickly. In the end, he leaves it for his midfield partner here, Alexander Barth. This is club football with Benfica. What about a long throw? He's got plenty of short options here. It's taken quite a while to work out where he wants this ball to go. It is a long throw in the end. Aims at Højlund, is actually behind him and off the head of Andrik. He goes back towards Bard. There's a clash of heads, and it's been given against the Dane. And Andrik is down, still holding his face.
Yeah, yellow card shown there. A clash of heads, did he really mean that? I don't know. But anyway, Andrik down. I'm sure it doesn't hurt him any less whether it was meant or not. But a bit of frustration perhaps from Alexander Barr. But they would be frustrated because they thought he'd scored, went away, celebrated, you know. And if we're saying that Delaney is offside, then it literally is his toe end. I don't think Barr meant that.
There's no yellow card there whatsoever. It's a clash of heads after two players have jumped for the ball, and it's one of those classic Michael Oliver yellow cards where he's just been convinced by it because of the other player being in a worse state than the first one. There's never a yellow card there for me. But
I mean, you know, if you're Casper Human, I don't know if seething is the right word, but you know, he must be really angry with the way things have gone. I mean, it is what it is. That if they draw a line and your toes offside, then so it is. But that's how close it was. And then I felt that, you know, for that Delaney offside, the ball came off the defender first, and then Delaney to reach him. So, yeah, I don't know. And then the other way around, the ball comes off I think the thumb of Joachim Andersen, and then the next thing you know, Havertz is slamming it into the back of the net for 1-0. They're dead unlucky, Denmark, aren't they?
They are very unlucky. And as I say, you mentioned there the penalty. Once they've seen that handball, they can't unsee it. It's not deflected onto his arm. His arm is out away from his body. I mean, as I say, all common sense would suggest that that's not a penalty. But then we're old enough to remember a time commentating on La Liga years ago where it was almost a La Liga rule that if you handballed it, you always got booked. Doesn't matter whether it was accidental or not. Every handball seemed to get a booking. So the handball rules have changed multiple times in the last few years, let alone in the last 10 or 20.
But they never make it any better, do they? And I think that, you know, if you do a carte blanche, if it hits the hand, that's it. You know, life's full of little instances.
It does, but then of course, then they introduce things like, well, if it deflects, it's not always a penalty, but then some deflections are worse than others. Other ones, his arm's out anyway, so it should always be given as a penalty. It's, as I say, it's incredible, really, how such a simple game, football, but it can be made to seem incredibly complicated. But what a turn that is from Havertz. He just breaks through the defence, and suddenly he's 1-on-1. 2-0 here for Germany. Surely, oh, he's put it wide. And in the meantime, Sane is claiming that he might have been pushed off the ball, and Germany want a penalty. But this all came from Denmark having slow possession. Suddenly, Germany win the ball back. A lovely drop of the shoulder there from Havertz. Breaks into the box, and his effort goes just wide.
You know, I think that is a professional foul from the number 6 there, Andreas Christensen. You know, I think for me, Havertz, if he's got a man who's inside, it's a tap in. It was a foul outside the area. It's such a clever foul, but it's a yellow. Who's got him? Who's good book now for Denmark? I don't know.
No, it was one of the German bench. They were protesting about the penalty not given, and Nagelsmann is now turning to our fourth official, asking exactly the same question as well.
I tell you what, this is carnage, isn't it? But you know what? And it's a terrible decision. If the referee's got eyes in his head there, he should be watching the game and looking how it develops. Maybe he's just got eyes on the ball.
Also, VAR should be looking at that. I mean, if he's deliberately shoved Sane off the ball to make sure Sane can't get onto a through ball or a square pass or a rebound, then that is a professional foul. But as I say, it's incredible how they don't spot that, but they do spot a ball flicking off a finger when a cross comes in. But here we go. It's Germany trying to play out from the back as Sane trying to turn. He gets caught in possession, but he gets fouled. I tell you what. This Michael Oliver is quickly, if he had any fans in Denmark, he's losing them all now because he's giving the one sort of bad decision, one sort of every 50-50 so far in this second half seems to have gone Germany's way.
Yeah, it does. Joachim Mahler gets a yellow card, misses the next game. Again, I'd like to see the Sane incident again. I thought for me it was a professional foul. Christensen running across his back legs because he's if you're the number 7 Kai Havertz in there, what you would rather have than just one chance at goal is somebody on your inside. So the keeper's beating either which way. It makes it a lot easier for you to score or pass it inside and let your partner score. But they weren't allowed that chance, and I felt that was clear and pretty obvious, really.
Oh, it's Kroos's free kick as a result. Goes a long ball into the box, headed out, and it will be a throw on to Germany just by the corner flag here on the left-hand side of the field. And David Raum is across to take this one.
Honestly, the officiating is really poor, isn't it? And it used to be that we'd look for the English referees to bring a sense of decorum.
Yeah, and now we're cringing at the fact that, oh God, it's the English ref in this one.
Yeah, it's true. What happened?
I know. It's I think it's arrogance from the people running the refereeing organisations. We could go on a half an hour rant about that, but we'll get back to the action here at the BVB Stadium in Dortmund, because Germany are trying to push forward, and a second goal here for the home side really would put them in a very strong position, as Kimmich now in midfield going back towards Schlotterbeck. And Germany just perhaps guilty of being caught in midfield, but I'll tell you what, that's really good work. Kimmich was losing the ball, but as he was falling, he was still able to get a pass to a teammate. As here is Eriksen now, just about keeping possession for Denmark. Plays it to Mahler, back to Christian Eriksen, who tries a long diagonal hoof sort of ball up towards Skov Olsen on the right-hand side. It's headed away by Raum, but Denmark do have it back here. Højbjerg just taking a little bit too long with the pass. Musiala is able to slide in and put it out, but it will be a throw to Denmark.
Yeah, great work by Musiala there. Denmark try to get the ball down, play it, pass and go. But a lot of hard work. Nagelsmann is in the book. Weird, isn't it? Both him and Human are both in the book now.
Absolutely, both managers on a yellow card. Emre Can, by the way, is getting readied by Germany. Defensive holding midfielder, so potentially just looking for that little bit more security in midfield now.
Well, they're only a goal up, but I think that's a real retrograde step.
Unless it's just a swap for Andri, perhaps just a like for like. But here come Denmark in the meantime. It's Skov Olsen. He skips past his man. He breaks into the box. He got past Raum, but he could not get past Schlotterbeck, who really has been a big presence for Germany this evening at both ends of the field, and it's out for a Danish throw.
Yeah, Raum, a really terrible attempt at a challenge, squares himself up and leaves himself nowhere to go with just a drop of the shoulder. But in the end, like you said, Schlotterbeck came. Eriksen doesn't get the free kick there.
He wanted it too easy there. I think Eriksen's got to show a bit more of a foul there for my money if he wants to win a free kick, particularly off this referee who needs to see that a little bit more if he's going to give a free kick to Denmark, as we've seen this evening, as Delaney just gets away from Gundogan.
I'll tell you what, Paul, it's a cracking good game, though.
I'm enjoying it, yeah. It's a good game. If you've not got a side in this, then it really is entertaining international football. If I was a Danish fan now, I'd be absolutely seething. But here come Denmark now. Højlund in midfield, goes squared to Højbjerg. Out to, it's an overhit pass from Højbjerg. He's got to do better there. It's only 25-yard pass on the deck as well. And he misses Mahler by about 5 or 6 yards as Emre Can's coming on, but also Nicholas Füllkrug, another sub for Germany. But in the meantime, they break forward here with Havertz. He gets all the way to the penalty and needs some support. Goes back towards Sane, who misses from 7 yards. But in the end, it looks like there was an offside in the build-up to all of that anyway. But we'll see. Where was the offside? As that ball is played to Havertz, yes, he one step. Kai Havertz is in an offside position, but Sane doesn't know that, and that's a terrible miss.
Yeah, I mean, what it is, his right foot, he's hitting the ball the way that he's looking, but if all he's got to do is tickle it onto his left foot and he's side-footing into the back of an empty net, terrible that, really. So, Chan's on. Füllkrug, I think, an important message that you're bringing on a holding midfielder, but also you're bringing on the man who you expect to score a goal. Andrik and Gundogan, the players going off.
Well, that's interesting. So he's taken off his number 10 and a holding midfielder, replaced him with a holding midfielder and a forward. So it's what we said earlier in the game. Potentially now Havertz dropping into the number 10 with Füllkrug in at number 9. Yeah,
no doubt that he is a goal getter and somebody you expect to take some of these half chances. Keep bringing him off the bench, and he's scoring goals. This game is not sorted at 1-0. Denmark have been pretty good. They're playing pass and go. When they do get the ball, it's attractive. They're creating chances and so on. I don't think they're done with just yet at 1-0.
No, absolutely. I think 1-0 is always a precarious scoreline, particularly as Denmark have shown they have had some good spells in this game. Schlotterbeck's had a good game this evening. He's playing at his home stadium, and now Nicholas Füllkrug is another Dortmund player on the field now, hoping that he can try and get Germany over the line in this last 16 game, as Eriksen's ball is just a little bit under hit. Toni Kroos is there, and now it's opening up. It was opening up here for Germany inside the Danish half, but just a bit of a heavy touch there from Havertz. Now playing in this new position, just slightly behind the striker. So we'll see exactly how Germany set up. It does seem to be as though, it's almost as though Havertz and Füllkrug, the number 9, are sort of playing as a 2 up front. We'll wait to see exactly what Nagelsmann has in mind. But we still have 25 minutes to play here, plus a bit of injury time. And there should be a bit of injury time, of course, with the VAR that we've already had. Lovely long ball, though, played down the left-hand side here for Joachim Mahler. Under pressure there from Kimmich, having to go inside now towards Eriksson. Back to Andreas Christensen. That's a good ball to pick out the run from Mahler. He was just getting towards the edge of the area, couldn't quite get the ball through towards Højlund, but now there's a second ball and Højlund's onside. He goes for goal, but it's straight at Manuel Neuer, who just sort of parries the ball before a deflection, and then it's headed back towards the German goalkeeper. But Højlund, that's the first time he's had a bit of service. He drops his shoulder, gets into a position where he can go for goal, but it's straight down the middle, really.
I don't know if he's trying to go through his legs there, Paul, or what, but it's a great chance, which he made for himself. You know, he opens his body up, and you don't have to beat anybody if you can do that on the half-turn kind of thing. You know, Pep Guardiola's a fan of that kind of movement, but then you've got to finish it off. I don't think it's that difficult. A shot with his left foot there. I think maybe he's trying to hit through the legs of the keeper, but, you know, it's threading the eye of a needle, that. He's a big gap to his left. And maybe he can't shoot it across him, but I thought it's more likely he scored once he got the turn. So that's disappointing from him.
It is, and that's the sort of job. You could see the reaction there from Kasper Hjulmand as well, and it'll look even worse here if Germany could take advantage of this, because here is Musiala down the left. He feeds the ball in towards Füllkrug. Just had to stop his run momentarily. Goes back towards Raum on this left-hand side. Kroos now switching play over towards Kimmich on the right-hand side. Square now to Emre Can, just on the field now in the last few minutes. So Kroos again looking for an option perhaps to go for goal. It's Havertz, holds it up, gets it away from Christensen, and now it's down the right-hand side. Kimmich and Sane on the right-hand side here for Germany. Back in towards Emre Can. Rudiger joining the attack now as well. Plenty of German players forward, but they can't quite break into the penalty area here. It's been held up by Kimmich. Back to Toni Kroos. Look again now towards Schlotterbeck. It's almost like every German outfield player is involved in this little bit of possession, but if anything, they're getting further away from goal rather than closer to the Danish penalty area. It's now back on the halfway line here with Kroos, and you've got to say this is all down to Denmark keeping their shape.
Yeah, they are, and you know, they're making them play, but equally because they don't move the ball quickly enough, and I think ultimately they're going to pay for that in the tournament. You know, here's
just a ball over the top and a bit of indecision, and suddenly Musiala is in. This has got to be 2, and it is. What are Denmark doing? That is sadly a classic example of the commentator's curse. There we are praising Denmark's shape, saying how well organised they are, and suddenly just a long ball into no man's land in between the defence and the goalkeeper at the edge of the area. Schmeichel doesn't come out for it. None of his defenders get it. Musiala can't believe his luck. He runs in and tucks it into the back of the net.
See, well, that was the easiest goal that we've seen out of the Euros. Just a long ball. Musiala by himself. And I'm thinking, well, was that the keeper's to clear? You know, what was it? The ball of the century? Let's take another look as they play out for the back. Ball just chipped. I mean, it's a good ball, isn't it?
It is a good ball. I mean, potentially Denmark are playing too high a line as well, so that they give themselves a bit too much to do. But I mean, it's a difficult one. That
it's a good ball.
It is a good ball, and they were playing very high. I do wonder. Know that Postecoglou's working for British television this evening. I wonder what he would say about that, because of course his teams are like to play high up the field as well in terms of an offside. But the trouble with that is that once you get caught out, you suddenly leave a huge area for the opposition to take advantage of, and you give Jamal Musiala that much space, he's going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? You want to compress play. You know, we praise them for that. Pushing Germany back when they're in possession of the ball, because you know the centre backs were up, but Musiala is only ever going to beat Joachim Andersen in a foot race. You know, you've got 3 big centre backs. You haven't got pace. There's no Kyle Walker in that 3. You know what I mean? So you've got to be careful when you're doing that. But they're susceptible. You know, Havertz, he's got pace about. I don't know about Füllkrug, but certainly Musiala does too. And they've just been caught out.
They have. There's been a double change here for Denmark as well, as Skov Olsen, Anders Skov Olsen and Thomas Delaney are off. Poulsen and Norgard are on to replace him. So Norgard will go into that midfield, and Poulsen will try and do something in attack, but it's going to be a long way back from Denmark now, you feel. But to see if they can manage it, we're at 70 minutes now, past the 3-quarter mark here in Dortmund. It's Germany 2, Denmark 0, and it will be John to take us through to full time.
Yeah, I mean, so they're essentially going 2 up top now. Skov Olsen might be playing alongside Hoyle. He wasn't really. He was holding the shape out that right side.
He was on the wing, really, wasn't he? Yeah.
So, and he'd been disappointing, hadn't he, really? But anyway, yeah, just having to mess about now with their shape a little bit. There's a long ball forward here. Maybe an opportunity. Fullscrew so close there to just turning the ball away from Schmeichel. Yeah, it's desperate times now, and just to think that they thought they'd scored a goal, but for the toe end of Delaney being offside, it would have stood there, wouldn't it? And then my other thought about that is there's such a big deal about, is he level or not? Well, a man with a flag looking across at that would have gone, well, yeah, he's pretty level. Anyway, here's an opportunity, ball into the box, but Hoyland won't get there ahead of the keeper, Neuer sliding out. We've got all this, VAR stuff now and lines drawn, but it's such a thin line that gives almost a toe end offside. It seems hardly fair.
It does. Well, Arsene Wenger famously in the last few months has come out with a suggestion that there should be an amount of leeway given to the attacking team actually inscribed in law, that the offside line actually isn't right on the tip of the toe end of the last defender, but you actually get that few inches of leeway, because otherwise it is going to be too sort of forensic in terms of how they do it. The point I made earlier as well about penalties, how the penalty kick taker already has all the advantages in terms of where he can put the ball, how much power he can put on it. He can do a stuttered run-up, he can do all sorts, but if the keeper moves an inch over the line, the penalty's retaken, and the keeper's always, the outsider in that anyway. So I just think that sometimes the rules go a little bit too far without actually thinking about the spirit of the game.
Yeah, I think the line that's drawn for that offside, I mean, if the line is thicker and you're calling it an element of doubt line, it gives the chance, doesn't it? I'm sure Delaney felt he was on then, and he worked hard to keep on in just his toe. Anyway, Kai Havertz now breaking into the inside right channel, just back onto his left foot, happy to work the channels today. He's been keeps running for the ball, keeps running to space and finding it. Kai Havertz, I think he's had quite a good game. Very important to have the energy that he's got, but. Like I said, then goals maybe becomes a problem, and I know they've scored 2 now, but anyway, we'll break off. They're getting on the ball a little bit more now. Kimmich just accepts the ball. Sarni's still out there. Kroos now looking for a shot, maybe. Kai Havertz, was he offside when he picked the ball up? I think he was. And so the flag has gone up. Difficult to know where the game's got away from Denmark, but you look at the amount of time left, the fact they're 2 goals down. Joachim Andersen, a yellow card, they're there for whatever. I'd have to say they've been dead unlucky, really.
They have. I think that Denmark have played some really good stuff in this game, and obviously the things have conspired against them a little bit with that marginal offside, then the marginal handball, then the moment of indecision for the long ball, and all of a sudden they find themselves 2-0 down, and Germany now win the ball back in midfield, and all of a sudden they're pressing forward for a third. It's down the right-hand side here for Sane.
Yeah, Sane goes to fetch it. He's no great hurry. Now they're happy enough to go backwards as well as forwards, and that can really help them out. Denmark now caught between the 2 stools. If they pushed up too high and they got caught, and now they sat back a little bit and they can't get on the ball. So that's their problem. But for Germany, it's not a problem at all, as they're just passing the ball between each other now. Chan, first opportunity really on the ball, a little pirouette and an easy ball out. Now with Kroos flicking the ball over the top, they've got round the back here. Again, Musiala, can he wiggle his way through? I thought a bit greedy there, really. There were 3 or 4 white shirts in the box. He couldn't find him. Poulsen now, first touch for him. And it's a good effort from Schlotterbeck, gets across and blocks him off.
He does, yeah. Poulsen, if he's going to do something, he's got to try and get that right wing to sing a little bit more for Denmark, because, as you both mentioned, Skov Olsen really was very anonymous on that right-hand side. So if Denmark can get something going here between Bar and Poulsen, and potentially maybe even Andersen from defence pushing down that right-hand side as well, they might get a bit more joy as Eriksson tries the ball over the top, potentially there for Poulsen. But Schlotterbeck miscues the clearance, and it will be a Danish corner.
Yeah, shot to nothing really from Eriksson there. He's just trying to put it into a gap for Poulsen. It's still a clever ball, because Schlotterbeck then has got a job to do, and he didn't do it well. He's been pretty good tonight so far. Germany 2, Denmark 0, but it is a corner kick now for the Danes. Kasper Hjulmand will be hoping for a bit of luck that's deserted them tonight. They've got big targets, and none bigger probably than Vestergaard. But anyway, can they find the right ball in? Ball near post gets pretty much solidly headed away, and then they'll recycle it. Højbjerg now with the ball into far post. Did it kiss off a German head there? I think it came off full screw, didn't it? And I reckon that should be another corner. Let's take a look at that.
Fulkrug has sort of moved to it. I'm not sure if it's actually come off. It looked like it might have just taken a slight deflection. It has taken a deflection, yeah, so that's good work from Denmark's point of view. And they've got a corner kick now with an in-swinger from Eriksson.
Yeah, I think maybe Fulkrug needed a shout there to get out of the way because it wasn't a good ball, hit him on the back of the head. But Eriksson now right-footed in-swinger from the left-hand side. Kimmich has gone down. Don't know what that's about. Rudiger points at him. I'm not really interested. But what is Michael Oliver giving now? Wants to have a word. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a fair fight, really, is it? Vestergaard against Kimmich. It wouldn't be allowed in a boxing ring.
No, it wouldn't. I think they call it a catchweight contest, don't they? But anyway, Vestergaard just ran right over him there, essentially. But anyway, lots of movement in the box. Eriksson waits. Can he find a good ball? In it comes, and then, it pinged off. I think Christiansen there. Who's that come off last?
Yeah, it's come off a German player. I think they're going to get a third corner kick in a row here as Anderson went for it. It flicked off Anderson and then sort of a little bit ungamely there from Rudiger, just sort of a shot off the thigh or the knee there and out for another corner.
Yeah, I think pinged off his knee, didn't it? Eriksson, another opportunity now. The big boys in there, all of them. Christian, Vestergaard. Can they find one of them? No, they can't. That ball solidly headed away by Emre Can. And then ball goes all the way back to Schmeichel. 77 minutes on the clock then in Dortmund. Well, we've had thunder and lightning, been biblical there, but the German fans don't give a hoot there. They're 2 goals to the good, and destined then to go further into the competition, a quarter-final, probably against Spain, we would reckon, but you never quite know. They sometimes can be quite toothless, can't they? Spain keep hold of the ball. I don't really trust Morata to be, super clinical. Anyway, Højlund again spins into the box. He goes, but the ball just scraped away. Maybe a chance now, though, for Mahler. But he dribbles into the box. He wanted too much. Rudiger goes rolling around, and I don't think he's been called.
Michael Oliver wasn't that interested. He only stops play now because Rudiger's still showing that he's injured. But Oliver sort of was in that crouching position. He actually said there's no foul, and he said play on. So it was, if anything, it was Rudiger following through and then falling awkwardly that probably caused him more problems there.
I think he might have twisted his ankle there or knee. You know, again, we've seen some of these pitches have been newly laid for the tournament. They come up in clumps, and maybe there he did himself a bit of a mischief, but it wasn't a foul. Anyway, we're going to see Brunlasen, Vind, and in fact, looks like
Damsgaard as well.
Yeah,
2 Brentford players on the field now.
The big trouble. Well, they're in trouble now, aren't they, Germany? All these bees players about to descend. They've had problems with the mosquitoes and now maybe the bees as well.
Very good, yes.
But,
well, just on that Brentford subject, of course, in the game between Albania and Spain earlier this week, both keepers, Brentford keepers, Strakosha for Albania and Raya technically is still a Brentford keeper, although he's likely to be joining Arsenal very much just after the Euros.
Yep, so there we go. Brentford fans, they'll be looking forward to Archie Gray, who they're about to sign, according to the latest reports. But anyway, we still got work to do in this game as the ball is hammered clear, and Schmeichel will pick it up. So now for Denmark, you get a sense that the gigs may be up for them. If they were going to get back into the game.
Yeah, if they were a goal down now, Germany would be more nervous, wouldn't they? And Denmark potentially could capitalise on that and try and pick off mistakes. But because Germany are 2 up, they know they have that cushion. And although Denmark are trying still here, you just feel as though there's a level of confidence about Germany now that's more difficult, as we can see there. Højlund loses the ball quite easily. Musiala skips away from one player, can't quite skip away from the next. And Denmark have it back. So there's still some fight about Denmark here.
Yeah, there is. Here they go, edge of the area. That ball, 2 miles, a shocker.
He's having a bad one here, Højbjerg. He's misplacing his passes here now, the Spurs.
Well, it's weird because he's won a lot of ball in the middle of the park, but then...
I think he might be getting the hook here now with these midfield changes as well.
Yeah, I think he wins it and then gives it away, doesn't he? And that's not quite what they're after. Alexander Barr, not surprisingly, goes off. He's the first change. Hendricks is coming on as well for Germany. So
Victor Christiansen is the one to come on here for Alexander Barr. See who the next changes are. Musiala is clapping the Dortmund crowd here, as we can see. he couldn't have been offside for the pass because he was still in his own half when the pass was made, so there's no need for VAR there. And to say it's just he's not actually, you can actually see he's not even having to sprint that much, but he's just so confident. He knows where the ball is, knows where the goal is, and it was a very good finish.
Don't know if it was Rahm or Slotterbeck with the ball to him, but it was good. So Rahm and Musiala go off, Henriks and Florian Wirtz, the players come on. Wirtz, he's not quite been his World Cup yet, but we know he's a talent. Rahm was quite strong today anyway. So 3 coming on, Højlund going off. For his manager, there was a lot wrapped up in Højlund getting it right today, and I think that really it's just sapped his confidence. He's been through a few times. He's played quite well until it came to finishing it off, and as a striker, that's how he's going to get judged. And his confidence, I think, seems to have been a little bit shot. When you're low on luck and when the goals aren't coming in, it's like you could play all night and never score. When you're on a bit of a run, it's like everything hits the back of the net. But he wasn't that player today. Eriksson, I thought, played his part. I think he's played quite well today, but he's off.
I'm surprised, actually. Maybe it's just a case of Eriksson not being able to do the full 90, because I'd say based on the quality of passing, certainly in the second half, I would have kept Eriksson on and potentially taken Højbjerg off, because I'm not sure Denmark need to worry about holding midfield that much some more with the score being what it is and the time being what it is.
No, exactly that. But anyway, Christensen is on the ball now. Ball back on his inside. They're hoping to get something going. It's not been easy. And so, down the left-hand side. Well, I'm pretty sure that was number. Was he still there, Eriksson? Now I'm just looking there, and I thought he was still there, but
I think it's he is still there. So there's been an error in terms of the graphic that we've been shown. Because as I say, we're not making it up. We promise you that Eriksson definitely was shown to be one of the players to go off.
Well, Damsgaard was going to come on for him, but he's not.
It doesn't look like Damsgaard's on the field as Denmark have a chance here. A strike coming into the engineer of the ball. Could have deflected after that block. It could have deflected into the path of Yusuf Poulsen, but it was cleared away for a throw to Denmark further up the field.
Yeah, so changes made, but we're not entirely certain. Certainly, Eriksson is still there.
Even the scoring update app and website that we're using are both showing that he's still on the field. I think that might be a better thing. Germany are breaking forward in now after an offside. There is an offside. Fulkrug goes for goal. I think he half knew he was offside when he struck that one, and now the flag goes up, and Schmeichel made the save anyway.
Was he offside though? Let's take a look. Try to run through the gap. He's just gone too soon.
Just about.
Yeah, the ball maybe should have come to him earlier. He was impatient to get his usual goal off the bench, wasn't he, and do it in front of the home faithful. But anyway, in terms of this game, I mean, in the space of 2 or 3 minutes, there was such a big turnaround. Denmark thought they'd scored. We thought they'd scored. Certainly, Joachim Andersen thought he got a good goal because he was onside, struck the ball to the back of the net, and then when we spooled back, we saw Delaney's toe end was off. It seemed really harsh. And then in the next attack for Germany, they got themselves a penalty kick, and again, the ball scrapes off, we think, the thumb of Joachim Andersen. Arm wasn't in an unreasonable position, but they saw it. It looked obvious. They had to give it, and so Michael Oliver did. Even then, when we saw the penalty kick taker, Kai Havertz running up to the ball, his little stutter step, Schmeichel wasn't buying any of that. He actually dived the wrong way, but it was a good penalty, hit the back of the net. And then when Denmark looked like they were holding a shape, getting back into the game, they pushed it too far, and a long ball to Musiala, put him right over the top, one-on-one, and he took his goal beautifully. Here again, Havertz running forward, this time stopped by a really good challenge by Vestergaard, and then into midfield. The ball pinging about a little bit, but they're forced to go backwards, and that's not quite what they were after there. So Vind has scarcely had a touch yet. Norgard eyed it, and then the ball just thumped out to the right-hand side. Changed their shape a little bit because I think they're a back four now. Christensen had gone off, so not exactly throwing caution to the wind, but it's a real change of system. I didn't think anything was wrong with the system. They just needed to change their look, because Well, they're just confirming Christensen is on for Bar. That much we knew.
Yeah, it looks to me like everyone just assumed that after we saw the graphic that Eriksson had gone off to be replaced by Damsgaard. It looks to me as though Damsgaard, he's not on the field, so it looks like that change has never happened. All the other changes did, but Eriksson off for Damsgaard on, that hasn't happened, and Eriksson still is on the field.
Yep, that's right. So, anyway, it is that Germany's still on the ball. There's only 5 minutes left. It looks like they've just about got it done here. Easy to go backwards now, and now when they'd been hogging the ball before, now they're playing pass and go when they don't really need to ball through. Havertz can't quite bring that in. I don't really know why they forced the ball there, but anyway, Denmark have it back. Højbjerg got a good engine on him, and he gets the ball out of his feet, and now stabbed forward to Poulsen. He's able to hold it up pretty well. Christensen out on the left-hand side waits for it, but Kimmich steals in, lumps it down the field, and again between Andersen and Vestergaard, and then in the middle of the park the ball just touched back, and yeah, they're just again trying to work their way into a foothold here, but they're creeping forward rather than gambling. The ball goes out with the Christensen left-hand side. There's a chance for him to take on Kimmich. Cuts back on himself. He lays a simple ball back, looking just to get something going with Brun Larsen. Ball is the box not good enough, and Rudiger just fly hacks out one up in the air. Fulskrug able to bring it down, but he doesn't look after the ball well enough. Brun Larsen again. He's got Christensen on the overlap if he needs him. He's a bit more direct, but the ball will break off. Kroos is still out there. But then Christensen had the flag gone up. Is he offside? Seemingly. So, Germany 2, Denmark 0. And the game closing in on its conclusion. I guess the fans have had excitement. The thunder, the lightning, a few goals. And more importantly for the German fans, a passage through to the next round.
Yeah.
But what we've seen, Paul, I don't think they quite look good enough to be a team who've gone and win this.
I think that a team that would be prepared to attack them, a team that would be prepared to keep possession against them, could find Germany out as they make one more change here now. Anton is on to replace Sane.
Yeah, so, and I feel as well that Musiala scored his goal, but we talked about Sane and Musiala going quiet, and I think they both did. Both can be peripheral figures, not get involved enough. And when Denmark were in their proper shape and not having to gamble, I thought they dealt with them pretty well. Anyway, again, Denmark trying to work it. Oliver then just getting in the way of Brun Larsen brings him down. Chan now on the ball, and again coming forward. Maybe an opportunity. Florian Wirth just working ball around, and then with Kimmich. Clever ball is inside to Chan. Chan sweeps it backwards to nobody in particular, but at least to where the white-shirted German players are. Kroos going backwards. And he now goes all the way back. They go back to Neuer, who can get the ball out of his feet. And then Schlotterbeck just lumps it forward with Christensen now. And he will chip a ball forward now, looking for a little flick on. Poulsen was on the run, but the ball never ended up with him. Brun Larsen couldn't get a little flick. More likely that Germany grab a third now than Denmark grab a goal, I think, as the ball goes out left with Henriks. He controls it. He's very right-footed. Goes for goal, but I think the ball bobbled up before he hit it, and he was slightly off balance. The German fans will clap anything at the moment, but it wasn't a good shot.
No, I think the German fans are just clapping because they know the game's coming to a conclusion here. They're going to get through to the quarter-finals. But I do feel for Denmark here. I mean, as I say, they would always point to the last Euros when they lost to England at Wembley. They were always unhappy with one of the decisions that led to their defeat in that game. And they'll certainly point to some refereeing controversy in this game as Havertz just about keeps it in play. Germany on the attack.
Yeah, they are. Wirth down with his shot, and that's straight down the middle. Plucked it out of the sky, Kasper Schmeichel, and he made that look very comfortable. It probably was for him, but it was a fiercely struck shot. Poulsen now is able to turn past his man. Can he get a good ball in from the right-hand side? He rolls the ball into the box. Eriksen's there, but the ball was played behind him. Brun Larsen couldn't get there, and in the end, it was a good ball. You know, when we've seen Germany attack, particularly that first half, I was saying, cross come in, and there were about 4 white shirts in there. I think they've just got a bit more energy, and Denmark, the ball comes in, you know, tired Eriksen's in there, Bruno Larsen couldn't get there, but just not enough bodies in there, really.
No, not enough bodies, and I think that's been the issue, is just committing enough people to try and actually get something going forward, and at the same time, obviously worrying about if they do lose the ball, then they can get caught out. As we're into injury time, and we're going to get 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, so they've been a little bit belt and braces, haven't they, Denmark, you know, hoping to maybe nick a goal, but when you're 2-0 down, you know, then difficult to, change tack from a back three and quite defensive team into all guns ablazing, let's go get them. And they've kind of failed to do that. The changes haven't really worked out any better for them. As Neuer comes out of his box and he's able to deal with the ball. Going to break to Worth down to the box. He goes an opportunity. He takes it past the keeper, scrapes it in. That is 3-0. That's the game. So Florian Wirtz there, a clever little player, just a drop of the shoulder from him. He drives through and makes the game safe, if it wasn't safe already. But, there is 2-0. So is there an offside here?
Well, I mean, when the ball is played...
He was a mile off, but who touches it first? Yeah, I think the ball came off Fullskrug to him, and then the flag was always going to go up. Nice finish, mind you. The Danish players didn't know, did they? But I think Fullskrug got the touch to him, and that made it offside.
Yeah, and that's now been confirmed. So Germany enjoying their third goal for all of but a few seconds. And, come on. This is with Michael Oliver. We've had such quick VAR on offsides in this tournament. Don't start bringing the average down. And he looks a bit exasperated here, Michael Oliver. But it's not that important, guys. It's clear that Fullkrug got that touch. He was in an offside position when the ball went from, so the goal should be disallowed. I'm not really sure.
Well, it could only be if the defender ended it away from him, came through the back of him to, just dab it on to Wirtz, then, the goal would stand. And I guess, it's important as anything. I can sense here that Paul might want to get home. But, you know what, they're taking a good long look. 2-0. Højbjerg is moaning at the referee. And Michael is doing his best to ignore him. We've still got 3 minutes left of this game, but this has taken a minute now, and I don't think it's that difficult. Right, okay. VAR goal check is over, and so we can crack back on now, and that'll add another minute. Anyway, long ball forward here. And I think it's come off a German heading out for a corner kick. So Route 1 stuff, and Anton it was with the header. Yeah,
Valdemar Anton with the header, but that's good news for Denmark. Potentially that third goal disallowed. They get a corner kick here with potentially around 3 minutes of injury time still to play. So they'll believe that if they can get a goal back here, they can still have a real grandstand finish potentially. Well,
this has got to go in, hasn't it? Eriksen there with the corner kick, right-footed in swinger through the box, will be cleared away in the end. Wirtz gets the ball away, and now an opportunity for the counter-attack. He's carried his run on, but his teammate couldn't find him there, Henriksen. That was a shame, because he's already shown a bit of quality putting the ball in the back of the net, Florian Wirtz, but he'd have been running clean through there. Anyway, we'll never know. Henriks couldn't find him, and for the moment Joachim Andersen had got to go back to his goalkeeper again. We're going to see long ball from Kasper Schmeichel, and he throws it up in the air. Bruno Larsen tries to get the ball, might break. Eriksen then into Vestergaard in the box, and he eventually, his efforts blocked away by Rudiger, who's quite an annoying character, isn't he?
He is. I mean, he's not the only one. It has been a theme I've noticed in the last year or two, that defenders now celebrate clearances as much as strikers celebrate scoring goals. That's becoming a thing now, but it's going to be an outswinging corner here from Eriksen now from the right-hand side.
Right, so the ball comes in, it comes off the first head. Vestergaard gets a little nibble of a header, but again it's blocked away, and again Wirtz is on his bike towards and over the halfway line, takes the ball with him. It's a great ball now into the path of Kai Havertz. Into the box it goes, shoots, it's saved by the leg of Schmeichel. Well, again, Kai Havertz is a great player, but I'm just thinking he ought to score. Camera lingers on Emre Can. He's thinking maybe he should have got the cut back there.
Emre Can is in a good position. He starts drifting a little bit more to the right by the end, but there was certainly a window where he could have sent the pass to him. It's not a bad effort from Havertz, it has to be said. It's just a really good save with the toe end there from Schmeichel.
He's just not clinical, though, is he? Copa America going on at the minute. Is that Uruguay doing pretty well, but again, their striker Darwin Núñez is having a great tournament, but also missing a lot of chances. And
but that's always going to be the case, I think, with Nunez. That he has got something about him, but he's just not clinical enough. And I think wherever he's playing, whether it's for his team or his country, just have to take that into consideration, that factor. But Germany did have a corner, was taken short, and Denmark have cleared it long.
Nunez reminds me of Kai Havertz. We're not just idly talking about something different, but anyway, this game has nearly reached its conclusion. Good ball at left-hand side. Brun Larsen cuts around 1 or 2, puts the ball to the far side of the box. Denmark still have it. Percentage ball in. Neuer comes, takes it off the head of Poulsen, and that pretty much is that. The 5 minutes is up now. I know there'll be a little bit extra time for that VAR check. The ball is bowled out to Wirtz, who's done well since he's come on. He's a nice player. They do like him. And this time he runs into trouble, though. The ball taken away from him. And Denmark one last crack at it here. I don't think they've got time to score 2. I wouldn't mind them grabbing 1, though, a consolation, because they've been good value for that, really. The game was up in the air for quite some time. Brun Larsen, just a ball taken away by Kimmich. Referee's still looking at his watch. He's not quite ready to call it yet. But, well, eventually he does. And the final scoreline then in Dortmund is Germany 2, Denmark 0. Thanks for joining us.